Woody Allen is a gentleman who, you might call him one of the last of the great boulevardiers. He's detached and droll and the essence of a man of the world. He can be cruel when necessary, having to fight his way through the hordes of women who wait at the stage door. I don't know what mood he'll be in tonight, but will you welcome playwright, author, and bon vivant Woody Allen.
Hi.
This is the show. We're on.
No, I know that. I have an
I see.
unbalanced shoelace here.
But the
Bingo.
that takes care of. Oh no, not the other one.
No. Like,
You can do that.
not bad. You come back, I do that again at 10 and 12. It's my
That's a
thing.
sight of you I haven't seen. That takes care of my first question, which was, how are your shoes? Well, how do you, how's it going? That's a dumb thing to ask, but I know you're playing nightly on Broadway, and it's really rough for you to even find time to get over here.
Yes, it's going okay. I came back, this was the first time I ever took a vacation at all for a weekend. I went to Fire Island for the weekend.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. There's something about Fire Island that I don't know what it is.
I don't either. I know that I went there once. I did not see anything unusually odd about Fire
No,
Island.
I left
There
it the
was,
same way I found it.
Yeah.
You know? I went there on Saturday night, and this is my beach attire. I have sand in my sneakers and my pockets and in the little crevices of my body. Yes, I do. Little
Perhaps we can get into that later. I do know. What is this? You don't believe we can switch audiences and bring in another one, do you? No, I do know that. There are jokes about certain segments of Fire Island because there's one, bless you, there's...
This guy sneezed on my arm.
I didn't think they caught that at home.
Does he?
Germs are spread that way.
Germs are our friends.
That's another of your odd theories,
Yes.
isn't it? You have several.
They make us
quite
sick, and then we don't have to show up to do our show every night.
You know what I was going to ask you once? I know that your show, anyone knows who's seen it, or who will see it, will know that it's just chock full of beautiful girls. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but did you have a tough time finding that many pretty girls, auditioning them?
It was, no. It was tough to find girls that could act, that were pretty. That was the problem. It was,
Yeah.
beautiful women are a dime a dozen. This is the truth. You know, and for a guy like myself, it's just so. I knock them off like dominoes, you know, like that. Now, anyhow, when you go into the theater, they have like 20 or 30 waiting in the wings, and each one is more beautiful than the next. And they come out and they speak and they sound like Minnie Mouse, or, you know, they're really bad. And it's hard to find 8 girls that can actually act.
Yeah.
But we
You
did.
but
after
you
a long
managed to
time.
get really a passel of lovelies, I
Yeah,
must
they're
say.
really terrific. I mean, it just is it's a joy to go in there every night. I'll be playing the play till October, I think, or, you know, maybe beyond that, I don't know.
And then you have your film coming out, which is how soon in the future?
I believe 6 weeks, I think, 6 to 8 weeks, and the movie should be out.
Yeah. Why don't we have a clip from your film.
Can we show that?
Did you know that we did?
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll show it. The name of the movie is...
The name
Has
of
it
the movie,
changed?
it's my turn?
Yeah.
Take the Money and Run.
Yeah.
And you want me to tell you?
I think you should set up the clip a little bit, because...
this is, I'm a racketeer in the picture.
Not
And
kidding.
I keep telling people that I'm with the Philharmonic to throw them off, so they don't catch me.
Sure.
And in this section of the picture, I stick up a guy on a street corner. This is toward the end of the picture, but it's not the actual end of the picture.
Great. With that in mind, we roll.
Where do I look?
I believe we roll.
Do we look at our
Watch- I think they love it.
Well, that's one little section of the picture, and the fellow
Yes.
with me was Mark Gordon, who's we shot that section of the picture in New York. And it's toward the end of the picture. I can't tell you the end because
No, don't breathe a
there's
word of the end.
no surprise to it at all.
Oh.
No one will be seated during the picture or after it started, before it started, or at the end.
What rating does the picture have then?
The picture, it's P, perverts only.
Oh. I guess I should have known. We have to pause and we'll be back. Yes. I'll tell you what. Let me reword that. Now a word from a bowl cleaner with a more active cleaning ingredient than the other leading brands, Sandflash. Yes, sir. Oh, before you came here tonight, some of the people in the audience were anxious to meet you, and we couldn't have everyone meet you, of course. So they wrote questions to you, and we grabbed up a handful of them. And do you mind if we just have a go at these and see what happens?
No, I don't mind anything.
Okay.
I'm game.
This is to Mr. Allen.
Are these people sign them?
Oh, yes, they did. Do you like blondes or brunettes? Thin or just pleasingly? That's from Joe Brenda.
Is that two people, Joe Brenda?
No, I think Joe Brenda is one person, unless he or she or both of them disagree. Zip.
I like blondes, and the
very-
fatter the better. You know? I like really fat chicks. That's, you know,
I don't think you've ever revealed that.
This is the truth. It's a weirdness of mine, but I like really gigantic women, you know, 400 or 500 pounds with jowls and fat thighs. I love fat thighs. I love to brush my cheek up against a really bulbous thigh.
Well, if we'd known, perhaps we could have arranged something. This woman says, did you ever meet a real woman? I mean, the R is kind of underlined. That's what I was trying to figure out there. But I believe you've dealt with the kind you would like to meet. A real woman.
A real, what is it? Depends on the definition of a real woman.
Yeah, it's hard to know what they mean by that.
Yeah, a real woman,
As opposed
you
to-
always get the impression that it's someone, you know, who sits around on silks and satins and breathes fire and everything. And but I'd stay away from real women as often as possible, you know? It's true, because you don't want, they're too formidable. You know what I mean? The idea is to try and get losers. You know, there are certain. This is a good fun. If you hit on ugly chicks as you go through life, you'd be amazed what a great percentage of scores you make.
I think,
Really?
that's funny. Didn't Dr. Rose Franzblau say much the same thing? Well, I may be wrong. Let me see. What outstanding talents do you have, and what are some of your hobbies? I hope that doesn't overlap.
Yes, I collect open sores. This is true.
How many of you thought he wouldn't treat these seriously?
And I like to fill cavities.
A little bit of amateur dentistry on the side.
Yes, and I like to be hickeyed by midgets.
Well, I believe we've put something in for everybody there. Let's see. How did you like? Oh, this is odd. How did you like the tuna fish in the Midwood High School cafeteria?
So is there anybody out here from
Is that
Midwood?
a real place?
Yeah, Midwood High School, sure.
Oh, that's your actual.
Yes, it's a. Is there someone here from? From Midwood? Yeah. Oh, that's right. This girl right down here.
Oh, is Midwood bisexual? What is the phrase I want? Sneeze again, John. We need it. What was the word I wanted? Coeducational.
Coeducational.
Yes, right.
I often say bisexual when I mean something else.
I don't know. Let's move on before we get. Why do you always scratch your head, Sharon Weinstein?
Oh, there's Sharon up there, right?
Laughing with many voices.
I'm trying to stimulate my dandruff, if there's any possibility. I'm trying to accumulate the world's largest collection of dandruff, if I possibly can.
When you get it, can we be the first to show it?
Yes, it's multicolored flakes,
Okay.
and I accumulate them in neat little piles around the house. And I have people over, and I use them as conversation pieces.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that. Would you like to meet? We have a surprise for you because I know what an inveterate fight fan you are. You're practically
Oh, yes.
always ringside.
I was the other night.
Even when the garden is closed. Woody goes, I think, to almost all of the major fights.
The other night we did our show, played against Sam, and we cut the first intermission down by about 5 minutes, and we cut out the second intermission completely, which was really work, and we just ran as fast as we could, and we got to the garden in time to see the championship fight.
The Fraser fight.
The Frazier Corey fight, yeah.
I don't know if he says Frazier or Frazier.
I say Frazier. If there's any
but,
problem, I'll take care of it.
Would you handle it? Listen, I plan to tell him exactly what I think of him when he gets out here, which is that he's honorable and courageous and all of those things.
I have to move over, right?
You may, whether you want to or not.
Okay.
Yes. I've never met a heavyweight champion that well, of course, Cassius Clay. But I mean, right after he had fought like this, it's quite a thrill for me. I don't know a great deal about heavyweight boxing. My interest in it spans the Billy Conn, Joe Louis fight up to the marriage of Ethel Merman and Ernest Borgnine. That's about that. Will you, there seem to be several heavyweight champions these days. Will you welcome one of them, Joe Frazier?